Hello and welcome back to Hobby Crafts. Thank you guys so much for returning. I hope your new year is going super well. I myself just got a new microphone that I'm trying out, so I hope I sound okay. If you guys are wondering what we're doing, I'm sure you can see that I'm starting out with a sketch of a sketch really, of a doll idea that I came up with quite a while ago now actually. The goal was to hopefully have this doll done by the beginning of this month, but we had a little bit of a hiccup along the way. I ran out of sealant. You know how that goes. Order more, have to wait for it in the mail, delays, and all that jazz. But I hope you guys are super happy with this video. I put in a little extra effort by including the entire process of how I go into my creative space. And the entirety of it is just finding something I'm interested in, drawing a little sketchy doodad in my notebook. I tend to really enjoy physical mediums a whole lot more than mediums. Or digital mediums. That would be the appropriate term for what you're seeing here when I transferred it onto my drawing tablet. This part was just me having some fun with the design a little bit more, trying to solidify what characteristics I wanted to keep, what I wanted to throw away. I wanted to better flesh out the colors, better flesh out the shaping of what I wanted to do, and get some practice in with the eyelashes because I still can't do them super well, but you know, that's how it goes. So in my drawing tablet, I like to first make sure that all my proportions are correct in my drawing. I worry that if I don't proportionately make the character realistic, or at least close to the doll that I'm working with as my base, if I don't have the picture close to that kind of arrangement in proportion, the idea for the outfit isn't going to pan out the way I want. I'm watching this back as I record this, and I'm realizing there's a lot of key features you'll be seeing me draw that aren't included in the final doll, such as the shoes you saw. I am actually planning to go with some heels. So not everything here is solid and going to be in the end result, but I figured at least this would be good to help me get my colors down, especially with the hair, because I definitely wanted to do something super colorful with the hair. My colors won't match either, of course. You have so much more free reign in the color grid you have via a drawing tablet, because you can literally make whatever color you want on there versus what you may have in real life, and my finances don't allow me to just go out and buy the exact colors I need to match, but I get as close as I can. I also want to point out that I did try to do like an ombre effect with her hair. In the doll version, I did not do that. Had a bunch of spare hair pieces from other projects of nylon hair, so I went ahead and just plugged them all away in a certain pattern. But this step here, sketching it all out, helped me decipher which color is going to sit on her head. It helped me decide what I can kind of do with her horn. I was really thinking about giving her some cute little horse ears. I did not end up doing that either. I actually genuinely think I forgot about doing ears. So there's that little fun tidbit. We are this far into the project. Project is completed by now, and I did not do the ears. But it's okay. I think I kind of like the final better than this drawing anyway, because of how the colors worked out. But, you know, I hope you enjoy this quick little speed paint. I want to talk about this dress real quick. Now, I had a specific dress pattern in mind. Delightful had a medieval dress pattern she put out a couple years back on Etsy. I purchased it and I've been playing with it. Every time I've made one, it ends up looking a little funky. Like, it doesn't do this fun little heart tear thing in the center where it's like higher up in the center front and then it drapes lower in the back. I did not ever figure out how that works until this doll project, when I went and watched her video a billion times trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. Turns out I just wasn't reading the instructions correctly, because one of the pieces you have to cut out on a fold. So if I had to explain it to someone who doesn't sew very often, when you would cut out like hearts for Valentine's Day, you would fold the paper in half and then you would cut out half a heart, and then by the time you're done and you open it back up, you have a full heart. It was that scenario with those dress pieces. You just had to fold it in half, cut it out, and then open it up, and then you had the correct pieces. So then when I went in and actually sewed them together according to the pattern, it came out the way I wanted them to. This had me floored, because as you saw just a second ago, that blue little thing, yeah, looking like a burrito over there. Not even at all what I was wanting. So you can imagine how hesitant I was to sew it all together. But I kept pushing and I kept trying. I'm so glad that I figured out my error ahead of time before I started cutting out the pieces on the fabric I actually wanted to use, because I can only imagine how upsetting it would be trying to cut out these pieces on this little bit of fabric that I have and not be able to use it. And there is the dress done, and there you go, you saw how my first attempt looked very burrito-esque. But then I slap on a corset because I really wanted to cinch in that waist, and then there goes her Reaper coat. Wow, that really swung by. As you saw there, another reminder to keep in mind your patterns on your fabrics, because as you saw on her coat, some of her gemstones were upside down versus the other side, which felt really silly, but I really liked how it looked actually. Kind of gave it an asymmetrical vibe, but that's just a note for the future me. Make sure you pay attention to what direction the pattern of your fabric is when you're cutting out the pattern of your template. So after getting the shoes all done, I went ahead and popped off my base's head, cleaned her out, you know, the usual customizing cleanup do. And then it was on to the hair. This was a moment where I was really happy I sketched it out first, because planning where all the colors were going to go was essential to pull off the kind of whimsical and almost ombre effect I was wanting. So I went ahead and just used basic acrylic paint to kind of sketch out where I wanted the hair colors to go. And I try to keep them as loose and open as possible. I try to make sure that there's no repeats right next to each other or adjacent from each other. I just really wanted it to meld as smoothly as possible. And then we are on to plugging away. I watched a couple movies while doing this part. I think I say that like every time. When you go to plug hair, just put on a movie, put on a long video, do something, because it is very tedious and it takes a very long time. I also wanted to say, does anyone else who has this hobby, do you guys break your needles often? I don't know if it's just I'm too aggressive with the plugging, or maybe I just have weak needles. Maybe I'm using the wrong size. Maybe I'm grabbing too big of a plug of hair each time. I don't know, but I broke like half of my set just trying to plug all this hair together, and it was really driving me bonkers. I did try the method of pre-piercing each hole before plugging in the hair, but I noticed a lot of fallout after. So I was hesitant to do that, and I did it as little as I could because I just really wanted all the hair to stay in there. So here I'm using a bunch of scrap hairs and fibers that I had lying around that were too small of bundles to make entire wefts or entire heads of hair. Sorry. I ended up going in and harvesting some hair from some of my other dolls in my stock box, which was actually very helpful because I found some really pretty colors that just screamed unicorn. Now, this was the next step of the project, just going ahead to do some body blushing, some face blushing, getting the realism into the plastic canvas, one might say. I really enjoyed doing the body blushing here, and then I got mad because I realized that the outfit, you can't really see any of her body hardly at all. She is pretty covered head to toe, so the blushing might have been just a little bit unnecessary for this project, but it just makes me feel so good to give it that little bit of extra life. You know, all of the toy customizers I watch are constantly talking about how blushing makes the doll feel more realistic and more fancy, and just it gives it a beauty beyond the basics of it just being a toy. Because to me, these are more than toys at this point. These are little pieces of art that bring me joy. They are one of a kind, never to be made again unless I decide to try to replicate it and do it again. So, even though the step may have not been necessary, it was still fun and made me feel good. Even if it did waste quite a bit of sealant, just to keep the body sealed and lock in the color. Because after I went ahead and blushed the face, that was when I ran out of sealant and I had to wait around. Quite the bummer. But what I thought to do with my brilliant little mind was to print out a little base of a Monster High head and start kind of sketching in again what I planned for the face. It seems like it would be repetition that's unnecessary due to the fact that I went into my my drawing tablet and drew it all out. But this, when I saw it, felt like the right move because now I can see from the scale that I will be drawing on exactly, you know, how it's going to look on the base's head. And then this way I could also plan out, you know, contouring. I can plan out highlights better because, you know, it's almost pretty much to scale. The lips especially, because I can't draw lips or noses for anything freehand. So this was actually super helpful and beneficial to the process of, you know, planning out her face ahead of time. And since I had to wait for my sealant in the mail anyway, I figured, well, let's not waste time. Let's give it a try. I got to play with some extra mediums. I broke out my Copic pens for the first time in a very long time. And then I got out my color pencils for the first time in a long time. I used to draw with pencils and Copic markers all the time. I got out of it because, you know, there's only so many colors you can afford, and more colors keep releasing. And then pencils, you know, sharpening them, the shavings get messy, gets a little bit annoying. Now that I'm watching this back, I kind of really want to go back to doing pencil and pen art more often. It's just hard to choose one thing to do, you know? I'm glad I mentioned that, actually, because I've been thinking, if anyone is still here, if you are, thank you, I've been thinking about changing my channel name and was hoping to get some feedback from someone or some folks about that. See, my name is Hobby Crafts, right? The idea behind it was I'm hobby and I do crafts. But I do more than just crafting. I draw, I paint, talk a lot, I write stories, I do multiple hobbies. Like, I can't settle for just one. If it's fun, if it's colorful, if it lets me be me in all of my creative aspects in life, I want to do it. I want to try it. I want to, get my hands in there and see if it's for me. And I've never been able to settle. I've picked up a good bit of skill on most things, but I'm not perfect at any of them. So, long story short, anyone object to the idea of changing the channel's name to Hobby Collections? Or Hobby Collector? I don't know. I got this idea truthfully from Mariah Elizabeth this time, because she had mentioned in a video that she felt like she was a hobby collector, and it felt like it clicked for me, and it hasn't left my mind since seeing that video, and that was months ago by this point. So, with doll sketch in hand and sealant arrived, I went ahead and dove into doing the face. Now, here's another thing, and you're probably going to be mad, and I'm sorry, but the horn changes. Pretty much the whole face will change by the end of this segment, due to the fact that the next step is to style the hair, which I did not catch on video because I had to do it inside my dad's house, and I didn't want him to get mad at me for recording. He wouldn't get mad. Whatever. I have my excuses. You don't care. Anyway, I went in to do the boil wash to, straighten her hair, so it'd be easier to style. And because in the face up, I went ahead and used a water base paint. I used gouache specifically. Her face melted off completely, and I had to redo it all. Yay! And of course, I redid the whole thing off camera because I was just so frustrated with myself for making such a goof up. But I still thought, I better still share the video itself that I did record of the first time doing her face, because I've been promising a doll from start to finish for you guys for a minute, because I keep, putting it in a two-parter, or I only post about the outfit or the face or whatever. So this was the time where I said, no, I'm going to do the entire doll, start to finish, record every bit of it that I can, and I'm going to post it, just as I promised. And this is what we're getting. Even though the end result's not going to look the same, and I'm sorry, but at least it was recorded. I hope you guys don't mind me talking so much. It's been a while, and I've lost my little bit of practice that I had doing a voiceover. So bear with me if I get annoying. I talk down about myself a lot, and I don't know if any of y'all can relate, but that can be annoying to say, oh, I'm sorry that I'm annoying and all that. My New Year's resolution this year was to try not to do that so much. And here I am with first month pretty much down of the new year, and I am doing that. But, you try, and you may not succeed the first time, but so long as you make effort, that's still progress. You don't have to be perfect the first time. I'm kind of glad that the horn didn't work out and I had to do it again, because I think this one kind of looked bad. Like I said, I'm watching this as I record the audio, and I'm noticing that it's just barely off center, and I went way too heavy with the purple to kind of help it stand out amongst the face and the hair, and it just kind of looks like a giant zit. Does anyone else see that? Oof. So maybe it was a good thing that it didn't work out the first time. It's nice to be able to acknowledge that you don't have to nail it the first time. The fun is in the process. Ooh, I did want to also mention here, I don't know if anyone else does it for their face-ups, but I broke out some of my makeup palettes that are about to expire. And I went ahead and used a little bit of shimmers and eyeshadow for some of the face blushing and sparkles. And I'm so mad that I didn't think to start doing that sooner, because they just look so pretty. I had a really nice gradient for her highlight, and the blush is just so stinking cute. The inner corners of her eye, the camera doesn't pick it up super duper well, but the inner corners I hit with a golden shimmery eyeshadow that I had, and it helped her pop and feel a bit more magical, and I just loved that so stinking much. This face-up did mean a lot to me, especially getting to play with the gouache. As you probably may or may not have saw from my last video, I was doing a color wheel using gouache for college. And this is important because I'm going to be doing a lot more projects using this medium. And I was having so much fun with it and learning so much about it as I was applying it to the craft of my choice, which is doll customizing. It just gave me a better appreciation for it as a whole. Granted, like I said, it didn't pan out super duper well, considering, going for the boil wash totally made her face melt. But I feel like, that's just a little bit more to learn about it and how sensitive it is. And I'm hoping to be able to apply that for, my projects in class. If you guys are interested in seeing those, by the way, I do plan on recording them and posting them as well. And I'll title them as I go. I think this first one is a monochromatic drawing, and I was already deciding on doing a thumbnail of Weather, the one doll that got away, the one doll that I hadn't gotten a chance to record. At least I don't think I recorded her. I don't know, I've done a handful of dolls now, I've kind of lost track, not gonna lie. But I'd love to do a portrait of her, not a thumbnail, a portrait of her using all sorts of different shades of a warm or cool purple. I think I'm leaning more towards a warm purple, because I like how the warms look comparedly to the cools, and to me they're a little bit easier to mix. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming soon enough if I don't dive headfirst into something else. I have been doing other video recordings on the side, which is another reason why this video came so late. So sorry about that. Well, no, I'm not sorry, because that means there's going to be more videos posted. So I'm not sorry. But there'll be some more videos coming here soon. Again, I'm not going to put any timeline on it or deadline because I don't want to stress myself out. You know, I'm trying to juggle quite a few things on my plate at the moment. Until hopefully someday this YouTube thing takes off. But we'll see. I might even find a job that I like better. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. We're hitting the home stretch here, doing the little eyelashes and the sealants and the eyebrows. Ooh, the eyebrows. Oh my goodness, they were so cute and so fun. I really loved this pop of yellow so much. I felt like it really pulled the face together, along with the hair, because her bangs are bright yellow. It was just so cute. And here she all is, hairstyled and ready to be dressed. I noticed that there was a little bit of flaking on her chin, probably from the boil wash incident, but I was ready to put her together by this point, and so I'm okay with it being like a little birthmark for now. Maybe I'll go in and fix it later. But yeah, let's put her together, shall we? I so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and a comment telling me what you thought and what can I do better and what did I do well. All of it's appreciated. And I hope you guys have a beautiful creative day. TTFN.